Welcome to another one of my live stream lectures this morning. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters, everyone, for supporting my channel. And with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is old-fashioned marketing. You know, I don't care how much technology we have and emailing and all of this stuff folks are doing in the world of AI, blah, 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 blah. If you are in business, you need to make sure you are incorporating a component of old-fashioned marketing to promote your product, your services, and your brand. You know, if the audience is aware, although I'm fully retired, you know, I do still generate money under my company based off my credentials in my home office. My company is well over 25 years old. And all throughout the course of my company, you know, one of the primary services that I provide under my company is the SAP DOT return to duty process. And I hold qualifying credentials as a licensed clinical addiction expert for anyone who operates a commercial motor vehicle. Them truck drivers, they fall under the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Transportation Mode. Anytime those truckers fail a drug screen, that employer have to refer them to a qualified substance abuse professional, a DOT qualified substance abuse professional. I hold those powerful credentials, people. And they must be referred to someone like me in order to be evaluated, in order to meet criteria to return back to the safety sensitive function. And that requires that process being guided by someone with the level of credentials that I have. And it's powerful, people. So in knowing this, I make it my business to present myself in living color to various trucking companies, to give them my marketing information, my information on my services. In that marketing folder, it's going to be information, that referral form. It's going to be my business cards. It's going to be information explaining the process. But to be honest with you, these trucking companies already know the process because they are audited by DOT inspectors. I am audited by DOT inspectors. And their employees who are on that road are randomly selected at any given time to pull that truck over to go report to a drug testing site for that random drug screen, or pre-employment drug screen, or reasonable suspicion drug screen, or follow-up drug screen, in any one of the various types of drug screens that they are required by federal law to do. And when they fail that drug screen, that's when Marie Holiday comes into play, people. And I've been doing this type of work under my credential for well over 25 years. And I deliberately spent some time last week interfacing with well over 11 trucking companies in Hazelhurst, Georgia. That's the pipeline of trucking people. And to meet these compliance officers and to establish that rapport. So now when their truckers need my services, who do you think they're going to call? That's my point, people. And to nurture those relationships, to cultivate and to develop those relationships with those 11 trucking companies and those compliance officers at those trucking companies in living color, people. Because I'm telling you, when people know you, when you're establishing that rapport, that business relationship on an ongoing basis, they will refer to you versus the rural or virtual rural. And they've been flooded in the rural or virtual rural with all of this information from millions of stakeholders. No, by me doing that, what I have done is distinguish myself from all of my competitors. And speaking of competitors, the area that I'm marketing in, or actually I'm setting up my tiny home in that area anyway, but The area that I'm marketing in, the population is a little over 4,000, but they got all of those trucking companies. So I have no competitors. So from a strategy standpoint, from a business standpoint, that piece right there that I'm going to provide in that area will have a direct impact on significant revenue for Marie Holiday Company. Real talk, people. And there is no way I could have begun the process of establishing real person collaboration contact with these compliance officers at those 11 trucking companies. That couldn't have been done in the world of virtual and sending. No, them people ain't got time to be filtering through zillions of emails. Come on now. And where they get to know me by first name. There you go. Because bottom line, at the end of the day, those trucking companies can be heavily cited by DOT, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, a transportation mode. DOT can shut that company down if they allow a trucker to drive that truck behind the wheel out of compliance. It ain't about, it's about compliance at the end of the day. And my name is in the DOT database as one of the qualified people. I'm qualified to do this work in this entire country, people, all states. That's just how powerful that credential is. And I know my stuff. I've been doing this for well over 24 years as a Pacific service under my company. This is real talk, people. I got to know that credential has to be re-credential. I have to maintain continuing education hours. I have to maintain professional liability insurance in amount of $3 million, people, behind that credential. Real talk. And so I got to be on top of my game. And when I'm interfacing with these 11 trucking companies that I interface with, I'm speaking their language. I'm speaking the FMCSA transportation mode language. I'm speaking the MRO language, the SAP language, the DEER language. And all of that I just rattled off. You have no clue with what I'm talking about because you don't know the profession. I'm speaking their language. In part of that marketing packet, I'm including my information where they can verify my federal credential, pull me up in the federal database, verify myself. Better yet, I tell them, according to the federal DOT guidelines, you must verify my credential before you refer one of your staff members, your truckers, who's a violator. You got to verify I got the credential prior to referring one of your truckers to me, because if not, according to 49 CFR 42, federal government, DOT, will cite you for not verifying my credential. Check the regs. You got to know this stuff. And when I'm talking like that, they know that I know because I do the work. So I say that to say that I'm going to be in that particular area. I did my due diligence. There's no other DOT qualified substance abuse professionals in that city, in that zip code, people. Nowhere. People at that level, somewhere in the big city, making mad money. So I have no competition in that zip code. Better yet, I have no competition in those zip codes near that zip code. Real talk. So those 11 trucking companies, when this is not something optional that they must do. They have to do random drug screens. That random selection names are filtered through the DOT database. That trucking company has no control of that. And when those DOT auditors come out there to inspect their records, and with the random, especially those randoms and reasonable suspicion and pre-employment and all of it, if they discover one violation, that DOT inspector can shut that entire trucking company down. We all understand the trucking world makes this whole big old wide world move. They are the ones that make things happen. How do you think you get your food, your clothes, your furniture, mail, The role of trucking has a direct impact on every single thing we do in this big old wide world. So imagine for a moment a trucking company, if they're out of compliance because one of their truckers has failed that drug screen, has test positive for marijuana or cocaine or methamphetamine or the Xanax. According to federal law, all that's considered illicit drug use. And they can't even have alcohol in their system when they're behind that wheel, people. So when they fail that drug screen, now that truck driver is a violator. Trust me, there's some steps that they got to take in order to get back into compliance, to save their career, to be able to take care of themselves. And one of the key processes, they got to be evaluated by somebody like me with that powerful DOT credential, people. Real talk. And you better believe I'm going to develop those relationships in that particular town with a population of a little over 4,011 trucking companies. For real. So I say this to say, you have got, and I've always known this, my company over 25 years old, I've always known the power and the value of real life, ongoing marketing, meeting with these stakeholders face to face, in person, with the goods to bring to the table, and to continue to develop and to cultivate and to nurture that professional relationship, because those 11 trucking companies with those powerful referrals are going to have a direct impact on my company revenue rising and rising and rising and rising. Real talk. So again, marketing, old-fashioned marketing, we have got to return back to that. Putting your business cards in the stakeholder hand when you're meeting them face to face, and then you can refer them to your website after you've done all that face to face, people, and then you continue to nurture that from time to time, and etc. So again, share this information. Somebody might need to hear this information in terms of old-fashioned marketing is power. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.